In all my years of playing fan games and ROM hacks and all that, I think one of the games I seem to hear about very regularly is a game called Mushroom Kingdom Fusion. This game has been around since 1852 and has been slowly getting updated with more and more content since. The core idea of this game is right in the title, Fusion. It's a fusion of every single video game character and property known to mankind, and pretty much no matter what games you play, if you play a lot of video games, you will recognize something from here. It really is like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where even if you don't get to play as every single video game character from every single corner of the universe, they're still most likely acknowledged in some capacity to remind everybody that, hey, Rayman exists. I know he hasn't had a game since the Great Depression, but damn it, he exists. I feel like the title Mushroom Kingdom Fusion is a bit of a misnomer because it emphasizes the Mario part of it, when in reality, it's almost like an equally massive mixture of pretty much damn near everything. Then again, Smash Bros was a reference to Super Mario Bros, but that game goes far beyond the Mario universe, so I guess it all works out. To describe Mushroom Kingdom Fusion in a single genre, it's a 2D platformer, but it's a 2D platformer all of its own. This is not a ROM hack or a mod of an existing game. This is a straight up new game built from the ground up, while also doing its best to emulate the very many different playstyles of all the different characters, and hoo boy, let me tell you right now, there sure are a lot of those. I'm talking Mario, I'm talking Luigi, I'm talking other Mario, I'm talking other Luigi, I'm talking Wario, I'm talking other Luigi, I'm talking Sonic, Tails, I'm talking Mega Man, I'm talking Simon Belmont, I'm talking Link, I'm very tired. Link is probably my favorite character because he makes this little noise whenever he jumps. Look at this, it's really fun to do it to the beat of the music. Check this out. I gotta be honest with y'all, I don't consider 2D platformers to be my favorite genre. I am a man of the third dimension, and I don't much care to live in the second, but I cannot lie, this game is a lot of fun. I think every single kid who plays video games likes to imagine what it would be like if Mario, Sonic, Mega Man, Link, Doom Guy, Master Chief, Sans, Jonesy, Goku, Saul Goodman, Mr. Beast, Kobe Bryant, Wayne Gretzky all met up at a McDonald's on the moon to get an enormous pile of nuggies and talk about how cool it would be if James Bond was there too, except he is there because it's your imagination and anything is possible. If this sounds anything like your insane childlike nerdy fantasy, here you go. That is what Mushroom Kingdom Fusion is. There are tons of nods and winks to all kinds of games, even slightly more niche and obscure ones that I can't even name off the top of my head, like this rabbit level. What's this supposed to be? Some knockoff bargain bin Bugs Bunny baby bitch bullshit? There's also a Super Paper Mario level, which is really cool. You got a DuckTales level where Simon Belmont can go floating through space. It's everything I've ever dreamed of. Which is what I would say if it was everything I'd ever dreamed of. There's also a Gradius level where the game turns into a horizontal space shooter. Gradius is one of the 3 NES games that I actually really enjoyed, so it was nice to see it represented here. There's also an asinine maze of pipes that you can easily get lost in. There's even a sign that's like, hee hee hee, are you lost? Well yeah, I am. Thank you for your sympathy in my time of frustration. Dick face. I think one of the things I really love about this game is the fact that even if you don't play through the game from start to finish, you can still check out a lot, and I mean a lot, of the game's worlds. So you don't even have to beat a lot of it in order to experience a lot of the cool things the game has to offer. I especially love the space levels with all the Halo enemies. You got grunts and elites, all complete with their own guttural voice lines. They're all shooting at you with plasma shit and throwing stickies all over the place. And get this, you can pick up their own guns and shoot them back with it. Just like the actual Halo. And surprisingly, they actually behave like the weapons in the original game, like how you can charge up the plasma pistol to do big damage. They even included an entire flood level where you follow Guilty Spark around while he's talking and singing. This game is insane. Did you ever think you'd see Waluigi dressed like the dude from Contra blasting his way through the library from Halo? Or what about Wario dressed as Duke Nukem running around with a shotgun? Wahaha! My ash, your face? What's the difference? Wah! Or how about Tails with the assault rifle? Dude, this game has it all. It's a never-ending game, and every single one of its 3 trillion levels has about 2 billion details each. Do the math. 6 sextillion. Now that's sexy. This is a game that I cannot spoil for you even if I wanted to because it's nigh infinite. I can't even spoil the game for myself because I only had time to punch through 4% of it. It truly is the work of many people over the course of several years. A massive love letter to anybody who loves video games and a crossover of Leviathan proportions. Anybody who loves this kind of stuff will get a ridiculous amount of gameplay value out of its grotesque abundance of crazy levels and will appreciate all the phenomenal fan service. Of course, all of that being said, MKF isn't perfect. You might be wondering, with all the different levels, all from completely different games, with completely different layouts and completely different design paradigms and directions, littered with completely different enemies, all with vastly different attack actions and hugely different movement patterns against all these very different characters who all handle completely differently, with very different control physics, and very different abilities, and very different strengths, and very different weaknesses, all with the ability to attempt any one of the extremely massive collection of very different levels and challenges the game has to offer. How on earth did they manage to balance all of that? Well, they didn't. You really have to think of this game as being truly a fan game. Any intersection of 2D, NES, SNES era games and characters you can think of, this game can deliver it to you in one way or another, and that's what makes it so special. Of course, anybody who understands how games work knows that doing this runs the risk of creating a very unbalanced experience. Mario can do just fine in a Mario level, whereas he might not be doing so hot in a non-Mario level. On the flip side, you might think someone like Arthur, who can throw these green thingies everywhere, would just devour every single Mario level with zero effort, until you consider that he can't jump on enemies that Mario can, so these dipshit dry-bone bitch boys are impossible to kill, unless you have a very specific power, which you probably don't. There's a somewhat frustrating element of trial and error with this game, where you'll enter a level, get completely fuckled 8 ways to Tuesday, realize that you might have picked the wrong character for the job, pick a different character, have it happen again, and then rinse and repeat. When there's such a grotesque amount of variables, it can easily muddle up your perception of what parts of the game are legitimately challenging and what parts are just not meant for the character you're playing as. There's a lot of frustration over that element of the game, but at the end of the day, that's just the nature of the beast and a fact that anybody who plays the game is gonna have to be realistic about. And even with some wonkier parts, MKF is definitely one for the record books. It's a huge, never-ending game that'll keep you on your toes from beginning to end, and I hope it gets even more features and flourishes in the future. And in spite of the areas of frustration, it is definitely worthy of the Christmas tree. Ho ho ho! Thank you very much for watching today's video, and be sure to tune in to tomorrow's video. I won't tell you what it's about, but rest assured there will be numbers in at least one letter. Ho ho!